Hi everyone, my name is Sally and I'm a mixed media artist in Australia, and in just over 7 months I have finished my latest sketchbook. So I kind of want to give you a little tour and show you what I made. This has been a really fun sketchbook, so let's have a look. This sketchbook is the Strathmore mixed media. I absolutely love it. I've got some stickers on the front from my artist friend Danny. Sandy is also an artist friend of mine. I of course have my little stung zine sticker that I made. I of course love Comrade Garfield and that No Room for Racism sticker is from Australian Indigenous clothing brand Clothing the Gap. Yeah, so this sketchbook, I actually started it on the 9th of December, which is a significant day because that was my baby boy Butter's birthday. Butters passed away 5 days before his 17th birthday in 2023, and I miss him every single day. I did make a whole video about making that page, and I will try and link all of the videos related to this sketchbook in the description box down below. This spread here was a spread I did for my January zine. This was some of my favorite things from 2024. They ended up in the zine, and this one was also a video that I made of the random color picker, and I chose my favorite characters from one of my favorite shows. These were some sketches that were also zine related. I have a tier in my Ko-fi memberships that's an art lover tier. They get an art print every month, those members. And I did some illustrations on The Substance, which was also one of the best things that came out in 2024. These were some concept sketches for a painting series that I'm working on very slowly. I haven't been getting much painting done, unfortunately, but I have some really cool ideas and I really can't wait to get stuck into getting these paintings completed. But they're a lot about grief and living alongside heavy emotions and learning to carry that while you're still going about your everyday things that you have to do. My favorite filmmaker passed away, David Lynch. I still can't process it. So the day that I got the news, I just got out my sketchbook, did a quick illustration, and just wrote down some of my favorite quotes from him. He was such an inspiration to the way I approach creativity and my own personal artwork. And he just created these incredible worlds for all the weirdos, and I cannot thank him enough for endlessly inspiring me and so many other artists. Like this quote in particular, and when you get an idea that you fall in love with, this is a glorious day. Absolute icon, legend, love him the most, miss you every day, David. And this was a spread. I was, of course, like I watch his films regularly anyway, but then I was making a few zines about David and how he's inspired me. And I was watching Wild at Heart, and I just had to just do these quick paint marker illustrations of some character studies from the movie. It's such an amazing movie. His movies are also all so visually stunning. Like every single frame is like a photograph, and I'm heavily inspired by cinema. If you've been here for a while, I talk about film all the time and how much it inspires me. Every time I watch something that I really connect with, I just have to draw it. So that was that. This page here, I also made a video of doing this illustration of Hind Rajab, and like I said, I will link all the videos related to this sketchbook in the description box down below so you can get the full story on all of these pieces. But that was a very special one for me to do. And this page on the right was I'd just taken this picture in my garden of a flower with a little bee in it, and I was watching the movie Poor Things and just wrote this quote from the movie, and that sort of seemed to fit with that page as well. We are in our acrylic marker era. I've been using them so much in my sketchbook, which is because the opacity is amazing and there's really bright, opaque colors, and they're quick and easy. I can paint without having lots of mess to clean up. I don't have to worry about the cats walking in my paint palettes and all of that sort of thing. So this spread here, I just opened up Pinterest and I drew everything that was on my Pinterest homepage. And this was a really fun idea for a sketchbook spread if you're just not sure what to draw. I find with the Pinterest homepage, it's things that are relevant to your interests, but that you haven't necessarily saved already. So it's a really cool thing to do. These were some more character studies from the movie Wild at Heart. Isabella Rossellini is just so gorgeous. I just had to draw her a couple more times because I love her. And more acrylic paint markers. I love this Dylan Thomas poem that this quote is from, Rage, Rage Against the Dying of the Light. I think it's really important that we do that. And I'm just sort of playing around with tigers. This is a self-portrait. Yeah, I just wanted to do something really graphic and bright and colourful on this sketchbook page. These are the Artex acrylic paint markers, by the way. Love them. This page here on the left, I also made a video about this, our gorgeous, iconic woman, diva of the sea, the anglerfish. Loved her. That was just some concepts for a painting I was doing. And yeah, this was just a sort of nothing page on the other side there. Some alcohol marker portrait studies of Kate Bush. Again, I made a video about this. I love her. She's such an inspiration. She's achieved so many amazing things and it's inspired so many artists from literally every genre. Like, she's an icon. And I love drawing makeup. I've spoken about that before, and she had the best like 80s makeup looks. This page on the left, I used paint markers because it had the alcohol marker bleed through, and these words were actually from a dream that I had that I found in my notes app. So that was really interesting to unpack. And this is some more ideas I've been working of seeing bones through parts of the body in illustrations. So that was fun. And the Scribble Brigade with Sophie McPike. I've got a few Scribble Brigade pages in here. This was where we did one colour and then mixed it with lots of different shades to see what kind of colors we could create. This is another one of my favorite spreads. These are pencil screen grabs from the movie Amelie. I discovered this website called everysingleframe.com, and it has a selection of movies with literally every single frame from every movie. And like I mentioned before, I really love film. I love using film to inspire my art, so that was a really great project. Colorful cats. I just wanted to grab all my colored pencils and do monochromatic drawings. I was just chilling one day. The blue cat is my fave, so cute. And then I used this same idea to do some portrait studies as well. I really like the stars, how I used the swatches in little star shapes around them. These were actually all Betty Page references, though they don't all look like her. And I find that really interesting sometimes with portraits, using reference. Sometimes the likeness just isn't there, but the portrait still works. But yeah, I really like this page. I like doing those monochromatic portraits. And here again is that concept I was mentioning about seeing the bones through the body parts. This is the first full body horse that I ever drew, and I did this on a live stream on TikTok, which was incredibly nerve-wracking because I had never drawn one before. But I love the way it turns out, and I'm obsessed with this gold paint marker from Artex. And then I just used some lyrics from the Patti Smith song Horses around the outside. And this, again, just some little studies here, some anatomy studies and portrait studies. Again, with the gold, I was just sort of experimenting and seeing like where the bones would work, like through the limbs. That was like the jawline and the teeth up in the upper right corner there. Just sort of playing around with this idea and having some fun seeing how it all works. And the horse is the white of the eyes is a quote from Twin Peaks, which I love. Again, same kind of ideas. These are some studies on the left for some paintings that I'm going to do. Again, I have not gotten around to it, but I'm really excited about this idea and getting these paintings done. It's been ages since I worked on something a bit larger, and I really can't wait to get stuck into those. And then I discovered Kane Colto on TikTok, and his song KFC Santeria was just stuck in my head for the longest time. And he's just got such a cool look, and I love everything that he stands for. He's amazing. So I just had to draw him in my sketchbook as well. On the left is another Scribble Brigade. I can never say it. Scribble Brigade from Sophie McPike. And yeah, on the right was just some little portrait studies and some concepts for the postcard swap that I did. Here again, I'm sort of experimenting with the bones and just some swatches of some coloured inks that I got, and some little sketches in brown pens of just portraits and eye studies. Just doing some practice in my sketchbook. Not every page has to be a full work of art. And it's time to normalize that in our sketchbooks, hey? This was Coachella weekend. Obviously, Lady Gaga headlined. It was such an amazing show. I was very inspired by it. I watched both weekends, and I took some screen grabs and just did some little studies in my sketchbook, again using the paint markers. I just love her. I think she's great. That was a really fun weekend. This spread was some anatomy studies using some secondhand dance books that I've got. I made a video about that. And here again, we have another Scribble Brigade with Sophie McPike. I love doing the Scribble Brigades because they're subjects that I wouldn't normally do on my own. And it's a really fun, like cozy, supportive co-working session. I tend to just default to portraits. That's my comfort zone. That's what I love to do. But taking part in the Scribble Brigades, I'm doing, glass and water reflection studies and flowers, and I would never do that on my own. So they're really, 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 really fun, and highly recommend you checking out some of Sophie's public Scribble Brigade live streams, or joining the Patreon to get extra Scribble Brigades, because I've found them really, really valuable, because I'm stepping way out of my comfort zone. I came across the account Vintage Dusties, and I just had to do some studies of people painting nails. And these are just some little portrait studies on the left there. I did watercolor for this spread and some gel pen on the left there for the portraits. But Vintage Dusties is such a great account. She revives old vintage nail polishes, and it's incredible. Absolutely love it. Such a good account. And then that followed on and inspired me to do a whole spread based on things that I loved wearing in the 90s, which was some shoes. So I did some shoe studies. I made a video about this as well. This was a really fun, cozy, nostalgic moment, walking down memory lane of some of the things that I used to love to wear. And I've been really into the 90s lately and nostalgia. Here again, we have another Scribble Brigade. This is some watercolor washes in the background, and then I just used a glass dip pen and some ink to do these flower studies. And like I mentioned before, I would never just sit down and draw flowers in my own time. Like, I find them really intimidating. But there's something about the Scribble Brigade, and it's such a supportive space, that I feel like I'm confident that I can do them. And this is one of my favorite spreads. This is some ink portraits that I did. I got these really colorful inks, and this one's my absolute favorite. I love how she's sort of like peeking through this like watery hazy fog that's bright red. I love color. I love that I used so much color in this sketchbook. This spread was really, really fun to do. I liked just sort of doing the portraits using bright color and not just traditional skin tones. I love using color in my portraits, and I really love the way that turned out. On the left here, we have Tracy Lords as Wanda in John Waters' movie Crybaby. These were some TikTok challenges that I did. John Waters is one of my other all-time favorite directors, and I did speak a lot about Crybaby in the video that I made about this. On the left, we have our beautiful woman, Luxaria. I made a video about this, so please go watch that. Very important. I will always protect the dolls. And on the right, I got thinking about how with John Waters especially, and then Andy Warhol, those two introduced me to trans women very early on in my life. They were probably the first time I'd encountered trans women, and Candy Darling was such an icon. I just got this amazing book about her and I cannot wait to read it. And then we finished up with, I guess I was thinking sort of about Andy Warhol again and Marilyn Monroe, and look at the neon color of that pencil, my goodness. So I just did these 4 studies of a Marilyn shoot from 1949 on the beach, just with color pencils. I just got out 4 pink color pencils and just did these studies for the last page. I love neon pink. It's my favorite paint color. Luminous red, neon pinks, opera pinks are just my favorite colors. So that's the last page. Now I have already started my next sketchbook, and it is very different in a couple of ways to this one. So please like this video. If you liked this video, consider subscribing to the channel for more art stuff. I cannot wait to show you what I'm working on next, and I really hope you enjoyed seeing what I have been working on for the last 7 months. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video, and I'll see you next time.